The panels that fuck you.
John Roof. You gotta document it.
We saw Rosario Dawson too.
Oh yeah. Clerks 2, man. Have you heard about the, there's a big, like, they're running it 3 times somewhere at one of these downtown theaters, and after every show, Kevin Smith is doing a Q&A.
Really?
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty cool. And it's nothing extra, it's just regular movie price.
I think I saw something about that. Isn't it supposed to be held at like an actual convenience store or something?
Oh, really? Fuck,
something like that. Yeah.
That's cool.
So you looking for anything particular here? Or?
No, every year I
just come
this year my purpose is to try to find original art. I commissioned one guy to do a piece back at Arts Alley over there.
Okay.
And so he's doing a General Grievous. He's drawing and inking and painting an 11x17 picture of General Grievous, and he should have it done by tomorrow.
Wow.
So I'm gonna go pick that up. But yeah, I'm looking around for like original like comic pages.
Okay.
Nice.
And they used to be cheap, but now they're expensive as hell. You gotta murder somebody.
We haven't even found anything cheap here.
Yeah. But
stickers are cheap, kind of.
Yeah.
Some of the stores, like goats, but other than that, other ones are $5 for.
Yeah, everything's gone up. Like 7 years ago, it was fucking everything was. I mean, everything kind of ended right there around where that pillar is.
Oh, really?
It didn't even come down this far, and now it's fucking huge. And it gets bigger every year. It's cool, but it kills my budget.
Yeah.
We've been hemorrhaging
I've already
money.
spent so much money.
Yeah, where are you guys staying at?
A hostel on the beach?
Yeah, dude, our porch just looks right on the beach. Our room has like these glass doors that look out on the porch, which looks out on the beach.
How much is that?
$26 a night.
Fuck. We're staying
on the beach.
We're staying at the Hyatt right here. It's $200 a night.
Oh my god.
Except we got 8 people in our room.
So you're splitting it?
Yeah, I mean there's 4 of us and we're staying 4. Or no, there's 8 of us and we're staying 4 nights, so it's coming out to like $100 a piece. But unfortunately, I had to put it all on my credit card, and everybody else is supposed to pay me.
Pay you,
so
yeah.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna get paid. Yeah. So how are you doing in Yuma? Are you working yet?
Oh no, I'm bored out of my mind. My dad's been ill, so I've been staying home taking care of him. But all my friends are gone, so I hang out with my mom. And I love my mom, don't get me wrong, she's cool.
Well, yeah, you can't do everything with your mom.
All the time?
Yeah. Have sex with your mom. Occasionally you can. Just kidding.
If you get drunk enough.
Yeah, maybe. No.
No.
But and then I've got a work visa for the UK.
Are you still taping?
Yes.
You motherfucker.
It's all good.
You're gonna have to tape over that.
No. It's going up. But
don't worry about it.
Shit, I didn't even realize that.
You can fuck your mom.
That's going right like on the webpage.
Yeah. It only happened once, all right?
That you
I
know
don't like to talk about it.
She took advantage of me.
She was needy.
Terrible.
Just the Riddler, the older Riddler.
Yeah.
You got videotape of all there's the Playmates over there. Have you guys seen those ones?
Yeah, I think they're don't videotape us or something.
Oh,
There's something similar in another booth. There was some stuff like that, and they're like, don't videotape.
That's not tit. I mean, because they're wearing loose shirts, and they're leaning over and
signing and stuff.
I mean, yeah.
Well, that's the whole purpose.
I mean, I actually saw a nipple, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm gonna go home.
I was like, oh, you got something on your. I'll just wipe it off for you. Yeah. Okay, gotta go. So, yeah, we're gonna go to the Neil Gaiman thing right now.
All right, cool. Well, it was good seeing you guys.
Yeah, totally.
Do you guys have a phone?
Yeah, dude, I do. Do you want my number?
Yeah, let me get your number.
And I'll get yours too. Mine's 928.
Oh shit.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. 928.
928-580-3972.
Okay.
What's yours?
So it's 520-780-0288.
0288?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So you're staying in Tucson?
Yeah, I've been working since the Monday right after graduation. Which is, it's good for money, but it fucking sucked. That whole first 2 weeks was so miserable for me because like the first week I had to go through all the initiation stuff, like I had to just spend a lot of time reading manuals, looking at the way things are done, but now I've actually been doing design work, which is great. And I've actually gotten used to the schedule. That's one of the hardest things, is just getting used to waking up at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Staying awake at work.
Like my internship, I was fine until right afternoon, like after about 1 o'clock.
Your body starts shutting down, and you're like, God, I'm not used to this. I'd usually be home after class taking a nap by now.
Yeah.
Jerking off or playing World of Warcraft.
Do you play that?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Do you?
No.
You guys are against it?
But my roommate too.
And that's all they do.
I mean, I haven't played it. I haven't played it for a year now because my computer took a shit on me, and I haven't had the money to build a new computer.
Yeah.
But God, dude, that game fucking consumed my life for 6 months.
Tell me about it.
Our friends with that, we don't see them. Like he lives with them, and they just
Yeah. You want to go get some dinner and go see a movie? No, dude, I got a raid. Got a raid.
Hey man, Kenneth's in town. We're gonna go hang out. And we're gonna go do some stuff. Nope, got a raid.
Wait, what time is that movie? Around 7:30? No, dude. It's raid time. That's raid time.
We're doing Blackwing Lair tonight.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
No, it's a new instance. We gotta run that shit.
AQ40, man.
Yeah.
And I'm the greatest healer in WoW right now.
MC.
MC.
See, and we've never played this game. We played like the demo when it came out.
But we know all the lingo because that's all they talk about.
I work with a guy that he's like 36, and that's what he does. He goes home every night, and their guild has things scheduled every night. Like on Monday they do whatever, on Wednesday, and like they have something scheduled for every single night. And he comes to work every day, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, last night I got the tier 3 pants. I was fucking awesome.
Got my new shoulders,
tier 2
new boat, new boots, all this stuff."
Yeah, it's funny as hell. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
well, I'll give you guys a call. If you guys want, you guys can come hang out. Like, our hotel is right up the street right here.
Nice.
And it seems like there's a lot of people hanging out downstairs, going around the bar and stuff. So, or if you guys just want to come.
Okay.
Are you cool with text messaging, or does it cost money?
No. I'm
okay.
fine. I got like 1,000 of them.
So I'll probably text you later.
All right, cool. All right, text.
Yeah, sing it.
Peace out, man.
All right, yeah, we'll see you, Caleb.
Yeah.
Everybody, step right up. It's about that time of the day. Go on in, guys.
Man,
Fight like a little girl.
good job running down John Roof.
Not only is this Ed's first trip to Comic-Con, he's never been to California before, so we're delighted to have him here in California, in San Diego, and at Comic-Con. Ed, welcome. Ed, I want to toss out a few questions that I know I've been thinking about. I'm sure many people out here in the audience have been thinking. So many people know this character. The character of Aragon's beloved through the novels, of course. You were familiar with the novel, and did that influence your performance, your perception of the character? Was it a daunting task for you to take on a role that so many people might have imagined in their heads what he looked like, how he acted?
Well, obviously there were all those sort of pressures behind it, but in truth, it was just an absolute privilege. You know, I mean, Aragon is well loved as a book, as a character by quite a few people, as I can hear, and yeah, well, it was an absolute honour to have the role. It was, there were some challenges there, but I took them head first. I went for it, really, did the best I could.
And when you first read the book, what were your impressions?
Oh, it was amazing. I was blown away by it because for me, it's much more than just your regular sort of fantasy epic book. There's a lot of heart behind it. This young guy, Aragon, comes from basically nothing, and he has to find himself. And I found myself in a position where I guess I related to the character a lot because I'd never done anything like this before. I'd never been in front of a camera before, and I came from nothing, and I still am nothing. But I mean, I took on this huge challenge and went for it. And as Aragon's story and character developed, I tried to do that with myself, and I think I tried to bring that to the character.
What's interesting, you haven't been in a movie before, and you really have done no professional acting up to this point. Yet you're working in Aragon opposite Academy Award winners, Jeremy Irons, Oscar nominees like Jaimin Hunsu and John Malkovich. That had to be a very interesting experience. Did they give you any tips, any advice?
I was very close to a lot of the actors. Jeremy, in particular, was magnificent. Sort of day in, day out. He was brilliant. He was always a bit of an idol of mine as a boy. And I remember when he first turned up on set, I remember saying, "Oh, there's Jeremy, he's getting out of his car, and I dived out the makeup artist, ran over, and then tried to look all cool, strut past him, and then he sort of said, "Oh, so are you Ed?" And I go, yeah, I am." He goes, "Come here," gave me a big hug, took me into his trailer. We were sitting there for about an hour just talking about anything really. But he was there, you know, every moment we had, every scene we had together, he was there for me, you know, and he enabled me to, you know, discover myself, I suppose.
We've been working very closely with Vivendi Universal on a new video game coming up for Aragon. I know you played a key role in that too, providing the voice of the character, and I know you are a fairly accomplished game player on that. Tell me about that.
That was an interesting experience. Sort of, I remember going into the sound booth and seeing this screen, seeing this character. I thought, hang on a minute, that looks quite similar to me. But the voice at the time had this American accent, so that doesn't sound like me at all. So going into the sound booth, I thought, right, how are we going to do this? I found it to start with, bizarre. But once I got through the experience and, you know, a couple of days of going over, you know, over certain words and everything, I got into it. I enjoyed it a lot. And playing the game was good fun. I'm looking forward to having a look at it later on this afternoon. Be good to see it's finally completed.
What about you, Elizabeth? You tried the game yet? No. Oh, we got to work on you on that.
Based on the game, but I would still have to play it.
And the character continues into additional plans an epic trilogy. The second book, Eldest, in this inherent trilogy is already out. Does that inform your performance at all? And is it something you look forward to doing if the opportunity should come up?
Well, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, brilliant, thank you. I think there's obviously going to be new challenges in the second film, you know, as the book proves. And recently, I've been doing some sort of personal training with someone who's introducing like the crane and snake movements, which how I interpreted and how the trainer interpreted through Eldest is what Aragon's sort of skills develop into. It's very similar to sort of the Japanese crane and snake kung fu movement. So I'm trying to develop those at the moment and just push forward, hoping for the best.
Yeah, I know it was a rigorous shoot, and I know you already mentioned something about training, but you must have undergone incredible preparation for this. Tell us about your training regimen and how long you had to do that. Was it something you continued into production?
Yeah, well, as Elizabeth was saying earlier, it was all, you know, getting quite close, and so once I got the part, I was flown out to Hungary, and I had 3 weeks of sort of intense training. I was in the gym every morning. I was horse riding every day, doing archery every day, doing sword fighting every day, boxing, you know, just to keep me going, as well as having some acting classes. And this did, you know, continued all the way through until November and on and on and on. But it's something I enjoyed, you know, because it especially I had any pent-up aggression, I could take it out there or whatever. And I just enjoyed it. I was learning new skills, things I hadn't done before. I mean, who gets to go around saying I can throw a sword about? You know, it was good fun, brilliant experience.
Now that you've wrapped principal photography on the film, what are your plans? Are you just going to relax or take it easy?
I want to relax. I'm going to finish my vacation in Jamaica with my friends out there, which I'm excited about. But I'm looking forward to this coming out. Really, that's my. I kind of want these 6 months to hurry up, just so we can see this movie out. I'm just like everybody else. I'm desperate to see it.
Well, so are we, and we couldn't, as Elizabeth indicated, we couldn't be more excited about this movie, and its potential is limitless, and we hope to continue these stories, and we look forward to bringing you a lot more information in the weeks and months ahead leading up to its release in December. So, Elizabeth, thank you so much. You're a brave soul for coming out here. Thank you. 1 second, right back.
Sheriff's Department, Sheriff's Department. Michael, can I ask a question very quickly? It's Mike.
Yes.
Would it be possible for me to get my photograph with the Aragon boy? If Aragon boy, if you're still here, I'd like a photo.
He's saying no.
You say you give him the no?
No,
He's giving me the bird.
Is this water for everyone?
It's very disconcerting because it's like looking at 6 of us here in every direction. It's pretty weird. Ready? Let's do a wave real quick. Oh, who's starting? We gotta get more organized. You're middle.
Okay, go.
Go. Wait, who's starting? Okay, how about this time I'll start?
1, 2, 3, go.
Pretty good. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Comic-Con? They don't send the Aragon boy on a bus here like they did us, I bet, do they?
Yeah, we went by bus.
Yeah.
He was in a limousine back here.
It was a
We came by
limousine.
Trailways.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, thanks very much. Well, I guess 20th Century Fox made a documentary about us.
Usually what they do is they follow us around with cameras,
Yeah.
and then they edit it together to make us look like a bunch of damn morons.
Yeah. There's a lot of heroic things that we do on our job on a daily basis, but
We're real good. We bust crack whores.
all the time. We shut down a meth lab last week.
One time I gave someone a parking ticket.
But then they cut that stuff out, and
No.
every time Trudy says N-word, that makes the show.
Yeah. They end up making us look like a bunch of boobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have not seen the 20th Century Fox documentary.
We're excited.
Yeah, we're pretty excited. Do you have parts of it to show? Hey, Michael?
That's going to be in the...
That's not in the movie, is it? Because that's not how... Michael, what are you?
Guys,
You're
I'm
the
awfully sorry. That's in the movie.
president? Are you the president of Fox?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, obviously we don't get a vote as to what goes into the film, but there was a lot of good things we did that day that didn't involve Travis being eaten by an X-ray machine.
I only did that once all day.
One time. And then later that same day, we found a contraband lizard somebody had.
Illegal to sneak.
Why don't you show that, fucker? There was a lizard, later that same day, there was a lizard that wasn't supposed to come into Miami, and we prevented it.
He was dead, but... And for the record, I know that movie looks real dumb, the one that you just saw us doing, but they have yet to add a CGI dragon into that scene.
Yeah. It's Fartagon.
They're still working on it. There's 4
5 continents,
It's
there's 4.
CLM is building it, and
CLM's building it, and it's going to be awesome.
and
As soon
Peter
as we-
Maxon.
We get some New Zealanders involved, I'm sure it'll be much more exciting. Do you have other parts of the movie, Michael?
Yes, I think we have something on the beach.
Ladies and gentlemen, roll the parts.
Which part is this? Are we in this
We
part?
got a beach scene.
There must be some mistake, that wasn't me.
Now, we had a hard and fast no N-word policy in the department, but
We had a hard and fast enroll policy starting a week and a half after.
No,
in
it
fairness.
was in place. It was in place.
It was in place. We had to sign that memo.
That's right.
That said we wouldn't.
That we would love everybody and be brothers and friends and get along.
I didn't sign it, I wasn't there.
Again, probably not really the way that happened. They've obviously chosen something that makes us look sort of stupid, so. Way to go, Mike.
There are more stupid clips.
What happened with the chicken? Tell us about that.
I feel like we're on trial here.
Yeah, why are we on trial here, Mike?
I feel like you brought us out here like we were movie stars. We came by bus, and now we're on trial because she said N-word.
And are these chocolates free too? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Those are just for decoration.
Okay, I'll leave that there.
Fucking Aragon and the guy from Snakes on a Plane get to go in that room with all the hoagies and stuff.
We had to split a hoagie. I saw Samuel Jackson had 3 hoagies, just him.
Three fucking hoagies for Snakes on a Plane. That's the stupidest movie idea I ever heard. What about, we had that same idea a year ago for a bear on a plane, remember?
No, your idea was for a bear somehow gets into a space station.
All right, that was good. Are you guys doing a movie about something like that, like a bear gets into a space station?
Dude, you're at Comic-Con. They're going to blog about it. They're going to sell it tomorrow.
They'll sell for $1 million tomorrow.
I had an idea for a movie. The idea is that there's...
Is there anything else to show from this web of lies about us, Mike? Is it Mike again?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah?
Yeah. What can I do for you?
Show some more bullshit.
Show some more bullshit.
Here's some more bullshit.
Here's more bullshit for you, people.
Roll the clip.
Real funny.
Real fucking funny.
High horse up in Hollywood, making fun of hard-working police officers just trying to do their best to clear traffic in Washoe County.
Jews, Hollywood Jews, making fun of us.
You know what? Earlier in the day, I had saved the city a lot of money by pulling a tampon out of the toilet that might have clogged it and cost a lot to have a plumber come.
So, hey, Mike, when does this web of lies come out?
Pardon me?
When does your web of lies about us come out?
Well, I'm sorry.
When?
Now I can't hear you.
Now you can't hear me.
I
Wow.
can't hear you. Oh, sorry, I got you in my ears. I can't hear you.
When does this giant web of lies about us come out in the theater?
When does a fucking faggoty ass movie come out?
This epic motion picture drama will be out early next year.
Are you, and you're adding some dragons and shit to it, yeah?
Right, dragons come first.
Good.
Good, good. I just have to say, this is not a fair representation of us.
Not at all.
This is not a fair representation of what we do.
Nope.
Yes, we fuck up.
Yes.
Yes, we very frequently arrest the wrong person.
Yes.
I have shot myself in the foot many times in the line of duty. We are a little bit racist. We're a little bit sexist. We do promote based on sexual gratification given out amongst the department. I forgot where I was.
Is this going somewhere? Yeah. We're just proving them right. All right, well.
Guys, you gotta leave now because we've got some real movies to get to.
Say you're going to change the picture.
Promise to change the picture.
Say it's going to be called Heroes on Patrol.
Yeah, whatever.
Say
Heroes on Patrol. Heroes on Patrol.
You're going to put in some big-ass dragons, make us look like badasses.
We're gonna have a bunch of big-ass dragons, and they're gonna look like badasses.
Well, it was a lot of sketching, that was for sure. Absolutely, especially with the horns, because it was one of those things where your natural inclination is go with the horns sticking straight off the helmet, but one of the things that I wanted to do was when I started looking at Native American culture.
Like you escaped relatively unscathed.
Yeah, I've done this before.
Yeah, I bet you have. I bet you have. But what's most important, I know, first of all, talk about your character if you would have been in the movie.
Gunnar, who you never hear his name, is the chief of this this Viking band that lands in North America. When we first met, which was when I was doing the makeup tests and whatnot, and said, I want him to be tired and old, and this might be his last raid. And I thought,
Hello? No problem. Jak się masz? My name is Borat. Hello, Comic Cons. I like you.
We too have a comic books in Kazakhstan with our own superheroes. Perhaps you have heard of our most popular character, Astounding Woman. She has the strength to pull a large plow for 84 hours without food or water. She has 12 magnificent teeth, 5 front, 5 back, and 2 under. And her vagina is so big that she can give birth to 14 sons at one time. Also, her brain is so powerful for women that at the end of her working day, she can actually lock her own cage. Can I say, I have been made feel very welcome here in your country of San Diego's. And I hope one day you visit my country's place. Why not? It's nice. Kazakhstan is now as civilized as any other nation, especially since the great Tulyakev reforms of 2003, which allowed women to travel on inside of bus, meant that homosexuals were no longer forced to wear blue hats, and also raised the age of consent to 12 years old. The reason I come here is because my film make releasings in November. And my movie have already been a blockbusters in Kazakhstan. Is it true? It have opened simultaneously on all 7 of our country's screens. Also, it took a top spot from Hollywood movie King Kong, which had been #1 film in Kazakhstan ever since it was released in 1932. Thank you for coming. Please enjoy. I show you 2 scenes from my films. Dziękuję. I love you. Bye.
Thank you. And one of the best artists working today, Charlie Vess. I'd like to bring out the co-writer of the screenplay of Stardust, Jane Goldman. You want to take it from here, Lorenzo?
Hello everybody, thank you for coming. We're very excited to show you a few things today. We're going to do a little bit different. We're going to show some footage from the movie and try to interrupt it. We'll show you a clip at a time. Neil, do you want to do any intro to anything before we start?
Sure, just a very little one. People have been trying to make Stardust movies since about 1998, and I let Matthew Vaughan do it because I trusted Matthew, and because he brought on Jane, who I trusted as a writer, and because they let me look over their shoulder and occasionally kibitz. And what they did was something that I think is a wonderful job of just bringing a book to the screen. And we've got some stuff in here tonight that's going to be, this afternoon, that's going to be really faithful. Any of you who like and know the book will recognize. And we've got a few bits that we've dragged along to show you because they're bits that aren't from the book. So we thought that those of you who are familiar with the book could get a kick out of them. And why don't we have Jane introduce the very first clip we're going to show.
I'd be delighted to. I know Matthew, the director, is very, very keen to stress, as are we all, that this is really raw footage. You're seeing it pretty much exactly as we see it, immediately after being shot. It's not been treated or graded in any way, so please don't judge us on that. But we're so proud of the content, and that's why Matthew really felt that he was really excited about the review, getting to see it and have a sneak preview, even though it is in this very unfinished state. Because fun as well.
In fact, Matthew is not here with us because he's still shooting. So that's how raw and how present in the moment it is. So why don't we run the first clip and then we'll talk a little bit about it.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we remind you
So, those of you who have read Stardust will remember that in an effort to win Victoria's heart, Tristan promises to bring her back a fallen star, a star they see falling, and it falls on the other side of the wall that their village, which is also called the Wall, is built up against. And here we get to see Tristan doing his best to cross that wall initially.
You know, it would probably be helpful that those people who have not read the book and will know a little bit about what the wall signifies, and maybe Jane or Neil, you should talk about the importance of significance of crossing that wall.
Well, the wall, in a very literal way, signifies a division between two worlds, really, between the real world, Victorian England, as it is in this story, and a magical world that kind of goes unnamed, but is generally sort of accepted and forgotten by the folk of the village of Wall who live right next to the wall. And in a more metaphorical way, I suppose it in some way represents the idea that people get on with their lives and don't really dare to break out of the prescribed route that they're supposed to follow. And Tristan is the exception.
Now, on the other side of the wall, we have a number of people who are also really interested in the fallen star. And we have the Seven Lords of Stormhold, who, I don't think we've got any clips of them, do we? We have the dying Peter O'Toole, and some rather wonderful, we'll meet Septimus later on, won't we? Okay. So we have a number of lords, these princes who basically kill each other as a means of succession. And we'll meet one of them later on. But the other person who is really after the star is a witch. There are three witches, the Lilin, and the most important of them, who is played by Michelle Pfeiffer, and who is very wonderful, has just used the last of the heart of the previous star to buy herself some youth and beauty, and she's off on her travels to find this star. And I think that our next clip is a little bit of that. At least I hope it is.
I'm glad you're looking happy, James. I should say as well that was, we haven't added any effects afterwards yet, so that was all done on the day, including the exploding teapot. So it was a very exciting day to be shooting, and all the thundering and wobbling and horse noise was all real as it happened.
So yeah, Matthew really wanted us to stress that nothing has yet been done to any of the footage you're seeing. So we're stressing it again for him, because he's currently back in England, shooting green screen stuff and worrying. Okay, so the next thing that we have are some scenes that we brought along, because anybody who's familiar with the book will have recognized at least where the previous scenes came from. This is a character who's not in the book. And in fact, it's 1.5 characters who aren't in the book. Because there was a character in the book called Captain Alberic, who didn't have a very big part, who in the film is now Captain Shakespeare, who has an enormous part, or at least a moderately large part, and is a fearsome pirate who flies a flying pirate ship that catches lightning bolts. And I think here we're going to see him trying to sell some of those lightning bolts to a gentleman named Ferdy the Fence, who is played by Ricky Gervais. And I think, why don't we just show the whole, we may as well show all three.
No, we don't have it that way.
We don't have it that way? Okay, so let's go, we'll start off with this one. Ricky and De Niro.
No problem. Yeah, we caught a little glimpse of Claire Danes in that clip, who's of course beautiful in your vein, and you get to see a little bit more of her in this clip. Actually, I should probably just stop briefly at this junction and just say we can't believe our luck with the incredible cast we got. As you've seen from these clips, we've got some absolutely amazing people, which it's something we're all very, very, very proud of. And the one person you might not recognise is Charlie Cox, who plays Tristan. And I think I speak for all of us, Neil, when I say that, you know, we auditioned an awful lot of actors, and as soon as we saw Charlie, we were very excited.
No, there were lots of, we found lots of actors who could do the sort of the nerdy side of Tristram. And there were lots of actors who could do the cool side of Tristram once he'd sort of grown up and learned a bit. But there weren't any except Charlie who could convincingly be both. And
in this next clip, we're actually going to see the heroic.
yes, he's a little bit more heroic. Still a little bit nerdy, but and he's travelling with the fallen star across ferry on the way back to war.
It was with Lamia, our evil witch, and with Septimus, who is the, I guess his intention is to grab the throne by any force necessary.
He's the youngest and far and away the most ruthless of the seven brothers. There are 4 surviving when the film starts, and there are 3 surviving roughly 14 seconds after that.
So we're going to go through those 2 clips, and then we're going to do a little montage, and then we'll do some questions and answers and a little bit with Drew. So thanks. All 3, please. We just put together really quickly. This is not polished or anything. We just thought we'd give you sort of an overview of a lot of the things that are going on in the movie. So we're going to do a quick montage. Could you run the montage for us, please?
I got no mic. Oh, there you go. We do have a few minutes for some questions. If anyone would like to ask anything, anyone down there? You got it? Okay.
Hi, question for Charles Vess. I just wanted to know if you were satisfied with the look of the film so far, being you're the one who visualized the original graphic novel.
Well, it was a little hair-raising hearing about it secondhand. I read the script and enjoyed that quite a bit. But last week when I finally flew over there and was, my brain was dead by the time I got to the set, but it immediately came back to life seeing all the beautiful visualizations that they've done. It had a life of its very own, and it was really exciting to watch and to be around and to walk through.
Neil, is this the way you've pictured it in your mind?
No, it's the way that Matthew and his amazing set designers pictured it in their minds. Every now and then there would be a moment that was actually really kind of strange. It would be like having just stepped into my imagination. The inn, definitely the witch, the inn that the witch magics up in the mountains, and where you got that little unicorn shot and stuff, it was just like having walked into the thing that I'd imagined, and the thing that Charles drew. But I think one thing that I like best about this is it doesn't look like I imagined, it looks cooler than I imagined. It doesn't look like anything else I've seen, it just sort of doesn't even look like a fantasy movie, it looks like itself, whatever that is, and I love that.
Thank you.
Mr. Gaiman, I have recently been reading the Eternals that you're doing with John Romita Jr. that recaps all Jack Kirby's great work. I was really interested in it. I was wondering how far you're wanting to go with this, and if you're going to do something after the miniseries.
It will mostly depend on time. I'm definitely finding myself, I'm currently writing issue 4 of the miniseries and going, there was an awful lot more plot and things that I had in my head that I'm going to be able to squeeze in by the last page of issue 6. And Johnny Romita Jr. keeps saying things like, you know, if you wanted to just carry on, I'll keep drawing. So, who knows? It's definitely not out of the question just because I have more in my head than I'm going to have room for. But it's going to be a matter of finding time, and I'm glad you like it.
Thank you.
Honored to meet you all. The question is for Mr. Gaiman. What also interests me, not only in adapting your book, but also one of my favorite filmmakers, Matthew Vaughn, directing. I just was wondering, did you meet him before the project, and then you really wanted to do something with him, or did you just find him out right when he hopped onto the project and you got to know him through that?
No, I met Matthew. Matthew was just one of those sort of odd things where we had lunch once and hit it off. And he actually wanted to buy the rights to a story I did called Snow Glass Apples, the sort of dark Snow White story. And at the time we did this kind of deal whereby he produced my first film. I did a film a few years ago called A Short Film About John Bolton, which was actually shown here at Comic-Con a few years ago. And Matthew was the producer of that. And the deal was he produced that and he could have the rights to Snow Glass Apples. And at the time his plan was he'd only produced films and he wanted that to be his first directorial thing. But then he was developing Layer Cake and he didn't have a director for it, and one day he got up one morning and said, bugger it, I'm going to direct it, and then he did. And previously we actually had lunch with Terry Gilliam, Matthew and I, because Matthew was trying to persuade Terry Gilliam to do Stardust and Matthew would produce it, and Terry at the time had just come off Brothers Grimm and did not want to do another fairy tale. So Terry said no, although Terry, as probably everybody here knows, is now back onto Good Omens.
Yeah!
He has not yet paid the option fee to Terry Pratchett and myself, which consists of 1 groat each, which is a long defunct coin worth about 4p. And we're sure that you can get them on eBay. So that is actually Terry Gilliam's fee. But after he did Layer Cake, Matthew came to me and just said, look, I really want to do Stardust next. Do you have a problem with that? Actually, he went and then he did X-Men 3, and left X-Men 3 very shortly before it began for his own reasons. And then phoned me up and said, okay, I'm ready to do Stardust. And I put him in touch with Jane, who I've known for years and I thought would be a great writer, and together they did it.
Hi, Neil, you're amazing. I love your stuff. Just want to tell you that. But I was wondering if any of your other works are going to be movies soon, such as Sandman, which is my favorite ever, or American Gods.
Let's see. Well, the one that will definitely be a movie soon. There are 2 movies currently being made, in addition to Stardust. There's Coraline, which is, I suspect you'll probably find out more about that next year. It's being made by Henry Selick. It's a stop-motion film. I got an email the other day to say that French and Saunders have just been recording the part of the 2 little old ladies. And, it has Dakota Fanning, I believe, playing Caroline, which is, well, somebody thinks that's a good idea. Which I actually think is going to be just fine. I think she's going to make a great little stop motion Caroline, but we'll see. So that one's out there, and of course, that'll probably happen sometime during 2008. And we've got Beowulf,
Wow.
Which I'll say a little bit more. I won't say anything about Beowulf now. We'll leave that until a little bit later on. American Gods, lots of producers and directors have approached me about doing American Gods, and I tend to say, you know, sure, sounds good, and then they normally look at me and say, so how would you make that into a movie? And I say, I have no idea. And that's normally where it ends. The gentleman on my right keeps making American Gods and sort of noises, and we'll see if anything actually happens. Sandman is just floating in a void, and in all honesty, I'd rather no Sandman movie got made than a bad Sandman movie got made.
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely fine on a floating in a void. I figure one day, with any luck during our lifetimes, a director will come along who has the same passion and feeling for the material that Sam Raimi had for Spider-Man, that Peter Jackson had for Lord of the Rings, and it'll be time then for a Sandman movie to get made. The Death movie is still sort of chuntering along way on the back burner for everybody. There is a script that everybody seems to like. There are people who would like to be in it, and it's sort of, it's moving very slowly through the system. It doesn't seem to be dead yet, which is probably the best thing you can say about death.
So is Tori Amos going to be the tree?
You know, we had that conversation earlier on. We said, and Jane can say the thing that we said.
Well, the answer is, I don't know. The answer is that that section of the film is still being shot, and the voice will be added much later. But the main answer is that we would love that. We would, I know that that's what everybody would like to happen. There is, I don't know, Neil, what else?
I mean, basically, that's the answer is, we would all like that to happen. They haven't actually shot that sequence yet. If it gets shot, it will be right at the end, and obviously the voice will be way down the line. So if we get to shoot the sequence, if it works, if it stays in the film, and if Tori agrees to do it, then Tori will be the tree. We'd all like it to happen. We're just keeping our fingers crossed.
Hi. I'm just curious, is there any possibility for a hardback version of Stardust coming out anytime soon, maybe?
Yes. The Stardust, the hardback has been out of print since about, 99? About a few months after it came out. But DC Comics are bringing it back into print, and it'll be out in March to coincide with the film.
Okay.
So there will be, the hardback will be out, and Charlie is doing new covers. It was, for me, my favorite bit of taking Charles Vess to the film set, which was he wandered around it with this huge smile on his face for a couple of days, and then he just sort of went off to the art department and said, do you have paper? And eventually they found him some paper that was to his liking, and he up in a corner of the art department and just drew. And he drew a new gorgeous cover. The pencil drawing that he's now going to paint. And everybody was amazed. And then he gave the pencil drawing to Claire Danes, because it sort of looked a bit like her, really.
Thanks. This will be our last question.
It's a question for Neil. Just first of all, wow, because I've recently just got into your stuff, like the Sandman. But thinking about your Stardust film, which I'm really keen to read the book after seeing all that and everything. Length of it. I mean, most sort of film producers now, they sort of cut down films because they don't think they should be too long. People leave them, but I've seen films recently like Pirates of the Caribbean 2, and that was almost 3 hours. And I was just discussing it with a friend of mine, and we think that, yeah, if you could put in absolutely everything, I think most people would be pretty keen to stay there for 3 hours for a film.
I think the problem that you run into, honestly, is that if you try and put in everything, it's not a 3-hour film, it's a 6-hour film. And while people are patient and will sit there for 3-hour films, nobody's bladder is going to last for a 6-hour film. I think, with this film, I think Matthew, being Matthew, very much wants it to come in under 2 hours. And the film that he shot is probably going to be about 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes. And then I think he's going to be trimming and concerned with pace, and probably when he first shows us whatever he's done, Jane and Lorenzo and I are going to be going, that's very nice, Matthew, can you put that bit that we all like back in, please? So I think there's probably going to be some of that.
I'd say rock on Stardust, it looks fantastic.
Thank you.
We have just a quick note that Jane jotted down from Matthew, who's actually shooting nights, so he's actually shooting as we're speaking. Jane?
Yeah, the message from Matthew Vaughn says, Dear all at Comic-Con, I'm sitting on soundstage right now, still trying to figure out whether I love or hate green screen. Tristan and Yvain are currently using the Babylon candle 50 feet above me, and we all wish that it really did work so that we could use it to fly there and be with you. Even in its nascent state, I'm already so proud of Stardust. I can't wait to show it off to the world, as I know we've made a film with a great story and wonderful acting. They won't have to rely on special effects, although they're pretty cool too. Hope you all have a good time, and I hope you like the footage. Matthew.
Right, so this is me, and this is the little bit that I said that I'd get back to afterwards. So this here is Stardust, and I've just shot in for this panel. Next year, I will probably wind up a guest of Comic-Con, and I'll be here for the full 4 days, and I'll sign things for everybody. All the panels will be around an awful lot. And one thing I will definitely be doing a year from now is being on a panel up here in front of you with Roger Avery, with Angelina Jolie, with Crispin Glover. I don't know who else will get up. Maybe Anthony Hopkins, maybe Ray Winston. There'll be a bunch of very interesting people, and probably not Bob Zemeckis because he hates showing up on panels. But we'll be here to talk about Beowulf. And Beowulf, which is going to be released in November 22nd, 2007, is using the technology that they developed on things like Polar Express and Monster House and taking it further than you would actually imagine. It's a cheerfully violent, very, very strange take on the Beowulf legend, which somehow manages mostly to be remarkably faithful while being deeply, deeply weird. And in a year from now, you'll learn a lot more about it. And for right now, I think we're going to show you, you get to be the first people in the world to see the Beowulf logo. And we're going to show you that. You'd be spending from now until November 2007 really irritated with me. We have to wait that long. But wait a year and you get to learn quite a lot about Beowulf, and I think you're all going to like it.
We have one more announcement. I think there might be a few Transformer fans here, maybe? My fellow producers here, Tom, is anxious to see the Transformers actualized, and the one thing we want to stress to everybody is that we're at ILM, it takes a long time, it takes a lot of money, so please try to be patient with us. And I think we have a little bit of a moment from our director. Montage of Transformers. You don't know that. So, what do you think, Jane? Oh. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Hello?
Yeah.
What? Okay. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Hello?
Oh my goodness.
I have a message. Our planet was destroyed by the ravages of war. A war waged between the legions who worship chaos and those of us who follow freedom. All of you here must join me in this fight for freedom next July 4th. I am Optimus Prime. Transformers, roll out.
So that was the announcement. Peter Cullen, who was the original voice in the TV show, has joined the cast of
That's a good sign.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for original Jane Goldman, Charles Best, and Mr. Neil Gaiman. That's from Paramount Pictures and Viacom Pictures.
Find my book, please. It's cool that they're coming out with the Dragonlance Chronicles movie. I don't know, man.
Did he talk about that?
Well, Margaret Weiss, remember when we were talking in the
Beowulf highly interests me.
Really?
Yes. I really liked the Beowulf story, and I liked 13th Warrior a lot too.
Okay.
I never saw the one with what's his face from Highlander.
What the hell is his name? The first one, the original one, not the TV show?
Yes.
Adrian Paul?
He's foreign?
Yeah. English?
Yeah.
Scottish, perhaps?
Christopher Lambert.
Yeah, there you go, Lambert.
Well, this is an interesting way to flesh out the What? I don't know if you. I don't think you can see inside with this. Well, maybe you could. What was he?
I don't know what he was. Some form of robotic thing in Bobber.
Some form of robotic thingamabobber? Is that what you said?
Something like that.
That's right, like
Child Milo. His middle name is Danger.
Milo, Danger.
What the? Going that way? I lost you for a second.
What's up?
I lost you.
See shirt?
Umbrella? Yeah. I saw a couple people dressed up as Umbrella soldiers.
Oh, I missed them.
Yeah, they just had the logo on their shoulders.
Okay.
Carrying around guns and stuff. 2 minutes.
I don't know, man. But people said everyone does.
You don't think that's going to be good?
What's up?
You don't think it's going to be good?
One more time.
You don't think that he can do a good job?
I don't know. He's got this really distinctive voice. He, like that's how the whole book started. Is they were playing D&D one time, and this guy.
Is it time for a visit to the little boy's room? I think it is.
All right, sounds good. You gonna tape that too?
Yes. Do you want to do the turn-based operation again? Do you have to go at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, actually, your name. We don't need to actually.
Okay. Where?
Left on the just past us.
Oh.
The eyebrows.
I don't know who that is. I've never seen. Oh, I've seen like the first episode.
Alright, he just shows up today. Two of them.
The blue tunic and the green.
Yeah. Jesus would slap the shit out of you.
Really? Oh my goodness. What's the girl? This is Jill. Is that Jill? What's her face? From Resident Evil right there. The blue top right here in the escalator.
I'm not so.
She's going down right there, man.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
She was, fuck, what was her name?
Veronica.
Is that her name?
Veronica? From RE?
It was Code Veronica.
Veronica?
That was the name of the game that she was in. You're halfway there, friend.
Yeah, you're still an ass.